All right, welcome in everybody to Spartans, actually the Munn Ice Arena on the campus of Michigan State University for a Saturday special matchup. In the East-West Showcase, your Caledonia Fighting Scots are getting ready to take on the Brighton Bulldogs. Thanks for joining us here on the Pass Shoot Score Network. Warm-ups have just completed. We'll do some player intros and we'll get right to some live hockey. Camden Quigley starting on defense. Aiden Itel starting on defense. Harmon Esch, your forward. Ethan Sova on the forward position. And William Mikkelsen will be the 5th starter. In goal today is the senior Sam Hogue. On the Bulldogs side, Emerson Bozak, defenseman. Luke Weaver, the other defenseman. Number 7, Nick Smith. 16, Connor Defani. 19, Max McKenzie. And the goaltender today for your Bulldogs, Tristan Schneider. We are going to jump right in. No national anthem. We're trying to keep on schedule. 4 games on schedule for today here at Munn. Earlier in the first game, the Livonia Stevenson Spartans beat the Matawan Wildcats by a score of 4-2. Coming up later today, after this game, the Byron Center Bulldogs taking on the Detroit Catholic Central Shamrocks. And in the 4th and final game, the host team, the Howell Highlanders, maybe? Highlanders, okay. Taking on the Forest Hill Central Rangers. East versus West, east side of the state against the west side of the state. This one ready to roll. 17-minute period. Puck played into the Caledonia end. Quigley behind his own goal. Takes it out the near side for Esch. Esch held up at the wall, taken by the Bulldogs. Down towards net, a shot goes over and that sails the length of the ice into the Bulldogs' end. On pressure is Sova. Bulldogs behind their own net, lost an edge, but retained puck control. Pressure by Caledonia. That's Bryce Mitchell, gets it to Rylan Boltima. Boltima behind the net, centering pass, a shot and a save. Nichols on the shot, puck loose out to Veliska at the point. Puts the puck in, knocked down by the Bulldogs, but held in the zone by Boltima. Boltima shot over the net. Loose on the doorstep and they score! Bryce Mitchell gets Caledonia on the board early. On the rebound shot. Bryce Mitchell, the sophomore forward, with his 4th goal of the year. Puck played in neutral zone. Evan Moore, the defenseman, at the back wall, sends it to Veliska, back to Moore. Moore fishes it out, now carries it ahead. Moore in the feet at the blue line, gets it up the wall for himself. Moore at the red line and puts it in deep. Bulldogs break it out, comes back to neutral zone after it's Itel. Itel's pass on the tape for Esch, picked off by the Bulldogs and cleared out of the zone by Mikkelsen. Bulldogs with possession in neutral. Pass near side goes long. Quigley reaches after it. Veliska, or that's Itel with a stick on it. Esch tried to feed a pass in the middle, cleared out of the zone. Bulldogs will have to regroup it. Itel in his own end. Long range pass picked off by the Bulldogs. Pressure by Mikkelsen, played ahead by Sova. Mikkelsen's got it, he's got Esch with him. Harmon Esch into the feet, and the goaltender gets a glove on it for a whistle. Tristan Schneider, the senior goaltender for the Bulldogs. 2.5 goals against average, 90% save percentage. So a solid goaltender for the Bulldogs. Face off in the feet. Comes out of the zone. Bulldogs pass, goes long, picked off by Mitchell, played in deep. Wrapped around the net to the far side. Breakout, knocked down by Boltima. Rylan Boltima from the end line, a shot off the side of the net. Bulldogs get possession up the near side wall. Veliska's going to try to hold it at the blue line. Holds it in, gets it to Nichols. Drew Nichols. Top of the circle, a shot, and that'll be held for a whistle. Landon Moore, Osborne, and Tyler Lewandowski up front. Quigley and Itel on defense. Puck played in the far wall, into the feet. Digging after it, Lewandowski along with Osborne. Bulldogs to get it out. They chip off the glass. That puck is deep in the Caledonia zone. We'll get a whistle for icing. Osborne on the draw for your Fighting Scots. Tied up in the feet, played out to the point man. This is Itel. Plays it in towards net, a save by the goaltender. Osborne chases the rebound. Behind the net. This is Lewandowski. Puts it in the middle. Puck played just wide by Landon Moore. He goes into the far wall. Centers it for Lewandowski. Couldn't get a stick on it. And the Bulldogs will get a grip. Send it length to the ice. Puck chip, they've got it down low, and we'll get a whistle. Looks like offsides may have been called before the shot was taken. So we'll bring it down into the Bulldogs' end for an offensive zone draw. Ethan Sova, Harmonesh, William Mikkelsen, Zach Veliska, and Evan Moore. 1-2. Esch puts a shot and off a player. Esch off the wall to Veliska. Veliska had it knocked down, but held in a neutral zone. Puck loose on the far wall. Mikkelsen tried to hit Veliska. A shot over the net. Puck played near side for Mitchell. Sorry, that's Esch. Has it lost in the feet. Bulldogs get possession. They bring it back in the zone. Played deep behind Hogue. Moore sends it back to the near side for Esch. Esch's long-range pass for Mikkelsen caught. 2-on-1. He's got Sova with him. Mikkelsen in on net, a save. Rebound, another save by Schneider. And the Bulldogs take it out to neutral zone. Veliska holds it there. Now it leaks into the Caledonia zone. Evan Moore, the freshman defender, carries it far side, across the red line, across the blue line. Moore in deep. Drop pass for Sova. Sova in towards net, a save. Puck will come out now. Bulldogs on the breakout. 3-on-2. Bulldogs through the middle. Now far side. Pass in front. A save by Hogue. Puck loose on the near wall. Battling after it's Quigley, the point man. Pass cross ice off of Rylan Boltima's skate. He's got it on a break. Boltima shoots. A save by Schneider. Played into neutral zone. This is Itel, sends a backhand pass, played ahead by the Bulldogs, but Nichols will take possession with a lot of ice in front of him. Nichols across the blue line. Nichols shot, knocked down before it got to the goaltender. Bulldogs will have some room to move it out. Taken away by Boltima, sent cross ice. Bulldogs there, back into neutral zone. Veliska holds it up, and now played into the Caledonia end. Aiden Itel behind, or in the corner. Pass up the wall for Nichols. Landon Moore. That is Nichols, sorry. Played out into the zone. Itel for Landon Moore. He's backhand off the glass and into the Bulldog zone. Caledonia gets some fresh legs on the ice. The Bulldogs cycle in their own zone. Pass up to the near side. Knocked down by Moore. Into the zone though. Played by Osborne. Now up Quigley to Moore. Moore across the blue line. Moore Whiffs on a shot. Keeps control of the puck, though. Moore has it taken away. Puck played in the corner for Osborne, though. Osborne tried to pass in the middle. It's going to be played out by the Bulldogs. Good job by Gorby holding the puck in. Puck played around to the near side. Bulldogs chip to neutral zone. Quigley gets a stick on it. Held there at the blue line. Bulldogs now regroup in their own zone. Long range pass far side, played out by the defense. That's Veliska. Zach Veliska gives chase, up the wall. Quigley played it back behind the net. Sova's gonna have it, up the wall. Played by the Bulldog point, held in. Now taken out by Sova. Sova has to avoid a fallen stick, plays it in on goaltender. Caledonia with the change. Bulldogs bring it up the near wall, chipped in deep. Hogue settles it for Moore. Moore behind his net, gets it cycled to Eitel. Eitel puts it through mid-ice. That's played by the Bulldogs and deep. Mikkelsen picks off behind the net. Centering pass by Esch. Oh, a shot out of midair. And a good glove by Tristan Schneider for the face-off. Bultema, Nichols, Mitchell, Eitel, and Evan Moore. Your 5 Cal skaters. Offensive zone draw, 9:57 left in the first. Mitchell, top of the zone. Mitchell carries into the corner. Bryce Mitchell behind the net, centers it. No one there. Played by the Bulldogs. Out of the zone, giving chase, Evan Moore. Moore in his own zone. Moore gets his way around one, high off the wall, held up by the point man. Played in towards net, and we'll get a whistle for a hand pass. So that'll bring the face-off back into the Brighton Bulldogs end. Osborne on the face-off. Lewandowski landed Moore, Quigley, and Eitel. Puck played by the Bulldogs into neutral zone. Bulldogs carried across the red line, blue line. Far side centering pass goes all the way through. Pass cross ice, Lewandowski after the loose puck. Tie chipped off the wall into the Bulldogs end. That one cleared out of the zone. Veliska steps. Bulldogs take possession though. And they'll dump it in deep. Hogue paddles it behind the net. Veliska carries out. Keeps it on the near side, off the wall for himself. Veliska tried to play it to the middle, picked off by the Bulldogs, but banged back deep by Landon Moore. After it, Veliska. Bulldogs with possession. Pass at the blue line, they carry it in. Now a pass down low, in on Hogue, a save. Puck loose on the side of the net, Bulldogs still with possession. Pass out to the point. Played back into the corner. Now behind the net, Sova gets a stick on it. Pass out for Esch. Esch up for Mikkelsen, chipped ahead. And played in the zone after it, Harmon Esch. Esch into the corner, plays it behind the net. Bulldogs put it back in the corner, play it up the near side wall. Moore tries to hold it in, gets it to Esch at the wall. Esch goes down, gets it to Moore though. Moore's backhand off the wall, picked off by the Bulldogs. And played deep, icing arm is up. And we'll bring it back for an offensive zone draw. Gorby plays it behind the net to the far corner, up the wall, Eitel chipped it through the air, Gorby down in the corner after it. Bulldogs take it out. Bulldogs carry it up the wall into neutral zone. Into the Caledonia zone, drop pass, now pass near side, down low. Hogue gets a glove on it and holds for a whistle. Good opportunity there by the Bulldogs. Defensive zone draw. On it, Drew Nichols. Tied up, played up the wall. Bulldogs get it back to the point. Now back down in the corner. Veliska tries to play it out. This is Nichols. Nichols gets pinched off at the glass. Bulldogs take it behind their own goal. Cross, pass far side, up into the air. Moore gloves it down. Played by the Bulldogs. Back into neutral zone. Bulldogs through mid-ice and dump it in deep. Hogue there, gets it to Veliska. Veliska behind the net. Bulldogs get a change. Pass goes long for Nichols. Bulldogs bang it back in deep. Hogue jumps his stick behind the net. Bulldogs will be the first there. At the wall, Mitchell, along with Nichols and Veliska. Mitchell digs it out. Can't clear it though. Point man holds it in. Moore bats down the shot. Puts this one through the air. Bouncing puck played by the Bulldogs. D to D in their own zone. Pass cross ice, knocked down by Moore, played back into the Caledonia zone though. After it's Veliska, Bulldogs there at the wall. He'll get some help. In to help is Osborne. A scrum at the wall. Puck comes out, Landon Moore pulls it out. Landon over for Nichols. Oh, Lewandowski, sorry, couldn't find it in the feet. And that one rolled in off sides. 6:07 left in the first period. Sova, Esch, and Mikkelsen up top. Quigley and Eitel on defense. Bulldogs play it in the Caledonia zone. Eitel pushes it into the corner, up the wall for Mikkelsen, jumped his stick. Bulldogs send it in the near corner. Bouncing puck, Bulldogs with possession. They'll put it behind the net. Try to put a pass that got knocked down by the Caledonia defense. Esch off the wall. Harmon Esch behind his own goal. Pass up for Mikkelsen. Mikkelsen trying to feed it back to Esch. Knocked down by the Bulldogs. Mikkelsen, though, gets it back. Puts one through the middle. Let the Bulldogs take possession. Held in the zone by Esch. Centering pass goes all the way through. Bulldogs pass, knocked down by Sova. He's got to wait for the onside. Played around the far side wall. Loose for Mitchell. Mitchell gets a backhand. Bulldogs clear it. Evan Moore from the red line puts a backhand through the middle. Played ahead by the Bulldogs on the rush, near side. Drop pass at the wall. Now a pass down low, deflected wide. Loose puck far side. Nichols carries it ahead with speed. Across the blue line. Played in deep. Nichols after it at the end boards. Puts it in the corner for Boltima. Puck comes loose. Held in the zone. Boltima for Mitchell. Mitchell passed down low. Played away by the defense. Bulldogs in the near corner. Pass through the air. Bouncing puck in the Caledonia zone. Out comes Hogue to clear the zone. Hogue goes down, and we'll get a whistle as his helmet comes flying off. Some of the players to watch for on the Bulldogs side: 24, Vince Walkup, a junior defenseman, 15 points on the season, 7 goals, 8 assists. Connor Defani, the sophomore forward, 10 points on the season, 4 goals. Max McKenzie, a senior forward, 10 points, 3 goals. So we'll have a face-off just outside the Bulldog zone. Osborne, Landon Moore, Lewandowski, Evan Moore on defense. We need, along with along with Camden Quigley. Face off played by Cal. Landon Moore carries in. Moore pushed into the wall. Feeds it to the middle. A one-timer by Osborne goes wide. That's going to clear the zone. Evan Moore gives chase. Moore high off the wall. Clears the neutral zone. Bulldogs knock it down though. Bulldogs into neutral zone. Touch pass. Played back in their zone. Now they send it back to neutral. Bulldogs trying to work it in the Caledonia zone. Drop right in the middle. Now pass on the doorstep goes long into the corner. Pass out to the points. Knocked down by Mikkelsen and a breakaway for Lewandowski. Ty Lewandowski goes in. He scores! A bar down goal by Ty Lewandowski, the senior. And Caledonia extends the lead 2-0. Lewandowski's 8th goal of the season. It's 15 points for him. Face-off played into the Caledonia zone, right near side. Shot in on Hogue is gloved for the save. Caledonia led by 2 juniors, Ethan Silva and Drew Nichols. Ethan Silva, sorry, let's start with Ethan. 16 points on the season, 8 goals, 8 assists. Cal clears the zone, Harmon Esch on the near side, dumps it in deep. Esch battles after it behind the net. He's got Mikkelsen there to help. Tied up in the feet. Esch centers it, played by the Bulldogs. Pass knocked down though. Now it's chipped into neutral zone. Eitel uses the skates, clears the zone. Mikkelsen cross ice for Moore. Moore in the middle, picked off by the Bulldogs. Bulldogs regroup in their own end, far side. Pass up the wall, chipped behind Hogue. Loose puck near side. Bulldogs along with Evan Moore. Bulldogs at the wall. Center pass knocked down by Sova. Loose. Sova's got it. 3-on-2. Sova cross ice for Bultema. Whiffed on the dump in. But the loose puck picked up by Veliska. Veliska drives it in the corner. Veliska down low. Tries to get the puck out in front. Left behind the net. Played by Bultema. Deflected behind the net. Mitchell battles after it. Bulldogs get a grip on it through the air. Moore knocks it down. Gets a backhand on it to Mitchell. Mitchell down low. Mitchell shoots. Oh, over the net. Rides the rail to the far side point. Puts it back in the corner. Bulldogs will have it near side up the breakout. On the breakout. Moore from the blue line holds it in. Gets it to Nichols. Bulldogs take it away. They'll send it to neutral zone. Evan Moore gives chase. Cross ice pass on the tape for Veliska. Veliska for Mitchell. A dump in by Bultema. Cal gets some fresh skaters on the ice as the Bulldogs send a pass up to the blue line. On it is Quigley. Fighting after it at the wall here. Loose now in the corner for Osborne. Over for Eitel. Eitel on the breakout. Landon Moore near side. Landon shot, glove down by Schneider, and he'll hold for the whistle. 1:25 on the first period clock. Cal holds on to the 2-0 lead. Goals by Mitchell and Lewandowski so far. Esch, Sova, Mikkelsen, Quigley, and Eitel. Bulldogs get possession, dump it back to neutral. Eitel passes through mid-ice, chipped by Esch and deep. Goaltender Schneider settles it for the Bulldogs behind the net. Breakout on the near side. Up the wall into neutral zone, played by Quigley. Quigley back to neutral. Bulldogs carry it in. Puck played back to the blue line, but offsides whistle, as that one just came out. Mitchell, Nichols, Multima, Quigley, and Eitel. Puck played near side. Bulldog shot in on Hogue, and he'll hold for a whistle. Bulldogs slap shot from the point off this post. Pass to the middle on the tape for Bultima. Good job by the Bulldogs to play it back. Nichols sweeps possession back into his own zone. Now a pass through the air for Mitchell, goes long. Bulldogs pass back to the near side into the Caledonia zone. Deflected Quigley behind his net. Far side for Bultima. Collapsed down by the Bulldogs. Possession behind the net. Pass out to the point. Far side, he's got to take it out on the regroup. Mitchell pressuring. 5 seconds left in the period. Loose in the corner. Mitchell's got it. And that will do it for the first period. Caledonia comes out strong here in the first. 2 goals, 1 early and 1 late. And they'll take the 2-0 lead as we take a break and clean the ice before we play our second period. We'll be back on the Pass Shoot Score Network again. 2-0, Caledonia leads.
I'm like styling up here, man. Oh, that'd be fantastic.
I don't have a truck yet.
Not yet. The day will come. Evans have been super good out there. He's gonna. It's pretty good, right? And he's jumping on and running all over the place. Defense first. Yeah, but good start, man. What team is playing?
I was here for the early game. Watching today.
Yeah. Live. Nice ice though.
Yeah.
Looks great.
charger?
Feel free. Your phone's dead or something.
Oh. Well, I charged the phone today, so.
Okay. All right, welcome back. We are just about ready to start our second period. Fresh ice here at Munn Ice Arena on the campus of Michigan State University. Caledonia hold on to the 2-0 lead. And we are off. Puck played near side. Brighton dumps it in. Behind Hogue, loose on the far side. Quigley plays behind the net. Loose puck now played up by Mikkelsen to mid-ice for Esch. Esch chipped it ahead. Harmon keeps control. Esch had it taken away, loose on the near side. Oops. A shot off the side of the net by Sova. Bulldogs play it up the wall. Pass at mid-ice. Loose for Eitel. Pass at mid-ice. On the stick for Mikkelsen. Mikkelsen carries in. Mikkelsen down low. Pass out. Comes out of the zone, so regrouping is Quigley. Quigley to Eitel, back to Quigley. Quigley now on the far side, chipped in the zone. Bulldogs get a stick on the puck, but played in by Esch. Bulldogs take it. On the near side, dumped in deep. Zach Veliska sends it along. Point man holds it in, shot goes wide. Puck played on the near side, held up by the Bulldogs. Sent cross ice through the air. Veliska will be there. Plays it up to neutral zone. Bulldogs in their own zone behind net. D to D. Mitchell, Nichols, Bultema up top more. Here's a breakaway. The Bulldogs all alone in on Hogan. A save. Big opportunity there. Hogue holds his ground. Mitchell's pass picked off by the Bulldogs. Pass back to the point man. Back to the wall, shot in on Hogue, save. Bulldogs pass back to the near point, now cross ice, into the corner. Ripped in on Hogue, another kick save. And this one's cleared to neutral. Bulldogs though with possession, they'll dump it in deep. Giving chase Veliska in the corner. Over for Moore. Moore gets it tied up. Bulldogs with it, shot in on Hogue and he's gonna hold for the save. 2 shots in on Sam. And the Bulldogs starting this second period with a ton of pressure. Osborne on the face-off, played out by Cal, held in by the Bulldogs. Played in the far corner, Quigley there. Holds the puck at the wall, now up the far wall for Landon Moore. Bulldogs hold it in. Puck squirts out for Eitel behind the net. Aiden Eitel, pass through the middle, that goes long range, but in on the goaltender. Bulldogs in their own zone. Held behind the net, Bulldogs. Carried out near side, breakout off the wall. They'll hold possession. Dumped in deep. Bulldogs there in the far corner, up the wall, pass back to the point man. Pass bounces off the wall, Bulldogs have it in the corner. Pass at the red line, disrupted by Osborne. Osborne's pass for Esch goes long, Bulldogs will dump it back in. Held out by Eitel. Eitel picks up the loose puck. Aiden Eitel crosses the red line and puts a backhand in deep. Esch there, puck comes out to the near side corner. Bulldogs off the glass. Bulldogs take it out. In deep, a shot in on Hogue, and he gloves it for a whistle. First, oh, we'll get a penalty here. Penalty on Harmon Esch. So the Bulldogs go on the power play with 13:33 left in the second. Didn't see what the call was. A boarding call on Harmon Esch. So Cal on the penalty kill. Sova, Moore, Lewandowski, and Veliska. Bulldogs near side. Shot in on Hogue, a save. Puck into the air behind the net. Bulldogs keep possession. Pass back to the point, top of the zone. Now back to the far side wall. Pass top of the zone. Now near side point, puck goes loose, Moore after it. Bulldogs from the side, shot, save, and we're gonna whistle as the net comes off. Osborne and Bolton will come out. Veliska and Moore, Evan Moore on the penalty kill. Bulldogs already beating their first period shot count here in the second. Ultima sends it long range in on net. Puck goes loose. Ultima chases after it, holds it in the zone, but Bulldogs with some space on the near side. Carried in the zone. Evan Moore with a stick on it and sends it cross ice deep. Schneider holds it behind his own goal. Bulldogs play it back to the near side, goes loose, Moore with a stick on it, and plays it in deep. Bulldogs behind their goal. 1 minute left in the penalty kill. Brighton sends it far side, skates up. Lewandowski with heat in the pocket. Loose behind the net, Moore slap shots that one around the wall. Played down low, high stick. Whistle there. That one was lacrosse sticked out of the air. And so we'll bring that face-off out of the zone with 40 seconds left in the penalty kill. Well, that's going to come all the way down to the Bulldog zone. Sova on the face-off. Puck wrapped far side, Bulldogs chase after it. Lewandowski pressures, Quigley with a stick on it, played in deep. Cal checks up on the offside, delayed offsides. Brighton carries it out, puck goes loose. Lewandowski knocks it down at the blue line. Lewandowski down low. Shot goes wide, all the way around to the near side. Itel played it in, delayed offsides. Gives the Bulldogs some chance to move it out. From the red line, they'll dump it in. Bangs around behind the net. Quigley there. Ties it in the corner. Goes loose behind the net. Itel is there. He'll send it, try to send it length of the ice. Glove down by the Bulldogs in neutral zone. Harmon Esch right out of the box. Gets a stick on the puck, but played back by the Bulldogs. Itel with possession. Puts a backhand through the air. Far side for Mitchell. Mitchell's pass over for Esch, knocked down. Bulldogs able to wrestle it away on the far side wall, but held in the zone. Mitchell. And now Nichols played into the corner. Bulldogs behind the net to the near side. Nichols pressures. Nichols has it in the corners. Tries to center a pass, that one deflected off the side of the net. Ultima centers a pass. A shot just wide. Veliska from the point, a shot, save, rebound. Still loose in front, and the Bulldogs able to clear it out. From the red line, banged in deep. They'll get a change. Evan Moore behind his net. Moore. Pass up for Boltima. Boltima chips to Nichols. Nichols dumps in deep. Bulldogs cycle it back to the near side. Nichols takes it away. Bulldogs able to get it back. Sent back to the far side corner. Lewandowski pressures. Loose for Moore. Off his stick and in neutral zone. Landon Moore there to back him up. Veliska near side. Can't clear the zone yet, but holds it at the wall. Now puck squirts out behind Hogue. He'll wrap it around the wall. Point man there. A shot in on Hogue, and they score. Brighton gets on the board here in the second. Goal scored by Will Clement, the sophomore forward. Quigley at mid-ice, off the wall for Moore. Landon Moore chipped in deep. Loose puck behind the net, now to the far corner. Bulldogs there, cross-ice pass, played by Lewandowski. Held up in the neutral zone, now Bulldogs bring it in the zone. Pass knocked down, but Bulldogs keep possession. Bouncing puck to Lewandowski. Ty Lewandowski crosses the blue line, dumps it in and gets a change. Schneider settles it, Eitel pressures. Ash down deep. Puck bounces around. Bulldogs with it far side. Off the glass. Loose for Sova. He'll get a stick on it and put it in deep. Bulldogs behind the net. Wrapped around to the near side. Chip to neutral zone. Veliska with a stick on it. Veliska carries it. Veliska pulled to the middle and cleared by the Bulldogs. Mikkelsen. Sova banked it in deep. Bulldogs with possession, long-range pass, off the skates. Evan Moore gives chase at his own blue line. Plays it back to neutral zone for Mitchell. Bryce Mitchell wheels his way into the neutral zone. Bulldogs carry it in far side, into the corner, Moore after it. Bulldogs play behind the net. Evan Moore now with it. Plays it back to the near side for Mikkelsen. Or Sova. Sova's long-range pass for Mitchell connects. Bryce Mitchell down low. He shoots, a save by the goaltender Schneider. Brighton, pass knocked down by Mitchell. Carried in by Boltema, sent into the corner near side. Brighton, D to D behind the net. D on the near side, goes loose into the wall. Osborne pressures, he takes it away. Osborne behind the net. Tries to move a pass out in front, comes to Moore at the point position, sweeps it in the back wall. Bulldogs behind their net. Pass up the far side, loose. Austin Osborne back to neutral zone, gets it to Landon Moore. Landon from the red line, shot in on net. Landon from the corner. Bulldogs send it to the near side, hard after it is Lewandowski. Landon Moore takes it up the wall. Back down low for Lewandowski. Goes off the back wall, far corner. Lewandowski cuts the man off. Tied up in the feet. Played behind the net. Rides the rail. Bulldogs trying to settle the puck. Played by Sova to the middle for Esch. Just out of his reach. Takes it in the corner. Up to the top of the zone. Eitel's pass for Mikkelsen down to Esch. Oh, a one-timer goes over. Sova after the puck, and the Bulldogs get some room to clear, and we'll get a whistle for icing. Nichols, Mitchell, Boltema, Veliska, and Evan Moore. Bulldogs pass through the middle. They've got a break. In on Hogue, and he saves. Puck cleared by Nichols to neutral zone. Bulldogs send it back, but picked up by Mitchell. Mitchell into the zone with it. Mitchell down in the corner, behind the net. Mitchell to the near side. Mitchell from the wall tried to center it over for Nichols. Nichols pulls it in the corner, now behind the net. Tried to center it, goes off the net, gets it back in the corner. Bouncing puck, taken away by the Bulldogs. Pass through the middle, off the stick, played by Veliska. Cal's got to check up on the delay offsides. Bulldogs. Pass through the middle, picked off by Moore. Evan Moore down low. Moore shoots, and that's going to be held for the whistle. Tied up in the faceoff. Lewandowski, Moore, and Osborne up front. Lewandowski behind the net. Centers it for Landon Moore. Loose. Pass back on the doorstep. Now played into the wall. Lewandowski shifts his way around the defenders. Bulldogs play it up. Pinched down by Quigley. Dumped in deep. Landon Moore behind the net. Tried to center for Lewandowski. Out for Osborne, a shot knocked down before it got to the goaltender. Moore's backhand into the middle, goes loose behind the net. Lewandowski after it, ties it up in the feet. In to help is Landon Moore. Landon's got it. Landon centers it, played out for Osborne, rips a shot, knocked down. Osborne gets it back, down low for Moore. Goaltender with the stick on it. On the near side, Bulldogs with possession now. Pass connects at mid-ice. Dumped in on Hogue, deflected into the back wall. Eitel behind the net. Aiden Eitel out front, finds a streaking Mikkelsen to Esch at the blue line. Esch cross ice for Nichols, sends it cross ice for Esch. Behind the net, centering for Mikkelsen, he's tied up. And the Bulldogs able to carry it out, but taken away by Sova. Taken right back by the Bulldogs. Bulldogs down low with it. Centers a pass in front for. Great save there by Hogue. Mikkelsen takes it into the corner. Esch now Sova digs it out. Sova in towards net, a shot knocked down by the skates. Bulldogs loose now for Sova. Bulldogs try to clear it again. Bouncing puck to neutral zone. Veliska bangs it in deep. Cal checks up on the offsides. Bulldogs cross ice. Now a pass back to the middle on the breakout. Bulldogs into the Caledonia zone. Pass far side. Pass back to the middle. In on Hogue, and he holds for the whistle. .333 left here in the second. Cal holding on to the 2-1 lead. Nichols, Mitchell, Eitel, Bultema. A shot by Brighton, gets deflected before reaching goal. Loose in the zone. Held up by the point man, plays it in deep behind Hogue. Bulldogs there first, they pass into the corner, now pass back to the far side point. That jumps the stick. And Brighton will regroup in their own zone. Pass knocked down by Nichols, held up in neutral. Brighton digs it out. D-man sends a pass up, picked off by Eitel. Played here at the wall and dumped in deep by the Bulldogs. Eitel in the corner. Sends it behind the net for Quigley. Loose off his stick. Mitchell picks it up. Bryce Mitchell behind the net. Oh, puck jumped his stick. Brighton takes it away. Center to pass, knocked down by Nichols. Nichols advances it ahead through neutral. Played back in the neutral zone by the Bulldogs, banged in by Eitel. Bulldogs now pass back near side into the Scots zone. Centering pass, knocked down by Veliska. Bulldogs get it back. Up the wall, now pass back behind the net. Veliska ties the man up. Bulldogs get it back on the far side. Pass out to the point man, a shot in on Hogue, and he holds for a whistle. Mikkelsen, Esch, Sova, Evan Moore, and Zach Veliska. Face-off comes all the way to the near side. Mikkelsen plays it behind the net for Evan Moore. Evan, pass knocked down by the Bulldogs, but played out to neutral. Esch with a stick on it at the blue line. Esch, top of the zone.
Feeds a pass over for Moore. One-timer. Knocked down by the Bulldogs and kicked ahead. The Bulldogs have a break. Bulldogs down in on Hogue, a save, rebound, and they score. Brighton evens the game up here with 1:48 left in the second period. Goal scored by Mitchell Wysocki, the junior forward. So we've got a new game here. Osborne, Lewandowski, Landon Moore. Lewandowski a shot. That's gloved by Schneider. Osborne on the face-off. Bulldogs take it into the wall. Itel holds it. Bouncing puck. Played by the Bulldogs off the glass. Itel has to take it out of the zone, dumps it in. Bulldogs get some room as Cal checks up on the delayed offsides. Breakout on the far side. Bulldogs. Now a pass through mid-ice. Icing waved off. Itel is going to get there first, near side, up the wall. Bulldogs with a stick on it. Bulldogs a shot in on Hogue, a save. Puck goes loose in the back wall, centers it. Out in front, another save by Hogue. And a bouncing puck goes deep. Lewandowski after it. Lewandowski in on goal, a shot over the net. Bulldogs have possession. Just off the change. This is Mikkelsen. Mikkelsen has it taken away by the Bulldogs. And now they'll carry it in the Cal zone. Goes loose, Mikkelsen picks it off. Mikkelsen to Sova. Sova carries in, gets it to Mikkelsen. Mikkelsen, a shot, loose in front. Gets out to Moore at the point. Gets it to Mikkelsen at the wall. Played it in behind the net for Sova. Sova in front for Mikkelsen. Bounce. Puck chipped up into the air, loose. And the Bulldogs carry it out. Pass picked off by Veliska, sent to neutral zone, Sova. Ethan Sova carries in, Sova, a shot, knocked down into the corner. That will do it for second period. So the Bulldogs come back with 2 goals in the second to tie this game, 2-2. A tight game here. We'll start the third, all knotted up again. Here on the Pass Shoot Score Network, 2-2. We'll be back in about 10 minutes or so. We're going to clean the ice for the third and final period of Game 2 in the East-West Showcase, live at Munn Ice Arena.
Yeah.
What are they like?
Did you go to the locker room? What? Did you go in the locker room?
Yes.
Are they ready?
Yeah. Scrape my head. It's like bleeding a little bit. I know, it's like... But 4 inches above me. 17 and 11.
All right, welcome back on the Pass Shoot Scorer Network. We are about ready to start the third and final period. 2-2 your score. Caledonia goals in the first period by Mitchell and Lewandowski. Brighton evens things up in the second period with goals from Clement and Wysocki. Schneider in goal for the Bulldogs. Sam Hogue, the senior goaltender, in goal for Caledonia. Strap in. This is going to be a tense period, no doubt. East-West Showcase, Game 2. Sova slides up to the face-off dot, and we have begun. Bulldogs win it. They go D-to-D in their own zone. Now pass near side, deflected into the Caledonia zone. Sova in the corner, wraps it around the wall far side for Mikkelsen. Loose for Eitel. Eitel off the wall, chipped for Esch. Harmon Esch has it in the corner. Centers it, off a skate and it goes in! Oh! Mikkelsen tried to center it for Sova. I'm not sure Sova got a stick on it, but traffic in front of Schneider and net. And Caledonia scores in the first 25 seconds. Tough goal. You don't like that for the goaltender. Nichols, Mitchell, Boltima, Quigley, and Eitel. Bulldogs again in their own zone. Pass to the near side, held up by Quigley, pulled ahead by the Bulldogs. Quigley with a good stick on it, loosens it in the corner for Nichols. Nichols, hard around the wall, far side for Boltima, goes out to the point man, shot goes wide. Bounces to the near side, Mitchell. Chips to neutral zone, picked up by Nichols. Nichols carries to the middle, Nichols in the shooting lane, shot knocked down before it got there. Pass back for defenseman. Moore picks it up at mid-ice. Moore from the red line dumps it in deep. Schneider holds it behind his net for his defenseman. They'll try to break it out on the far side. Now back behind the net. Landon Moore, Osborne, Moore, Veliska, and Lewandowski. Dumped in by the Bulldogs near side. Veliska has a grip on it. Behind the net for Moore. Moore up the wall for Lewandowski. Off the wall for Landon Moore. Races after the loose puck. Played by the Bulldogs. Knocked down by Osborne. That one dipped in and out. So we'll get a whistle for offsides. Face off won by the Bulldogs. Defenseman pushes it ahead, across the red line. Dumps in deep behind Hogue, far side, rattles around up the wall. Lewandowski with a stick on it, clears the zone. Ty Lewandowski after the loose puck, far side wall. In on net, a save by Schneider, and he'll hold for a whistle. Well, shout out to the Howell School for hosting this event. They've got volunteers around the rink. Appreciate putting this event on. Great for the kids to play in
such a great venue and against good competition. Puck rattles around behind the net, loose in front, in the legs, and now cleared by Caledonia. Took a weird carom off the back wall. Now Esch tried to carry it ahead, had his pocket picked. Bulldogs up the wall, Moore gloves it down. Evan Moore takes it wide, dropped it for Mikkelsen. Puck loose to the near side, Bulldogs press it ahead. Back into the Caledonia zone, Quigley pressuring. Bulldogs with possession. Sova, now Moore on the near side. Moore out with it. Brings it back, now hard around the wall for Mikkelsen, chipped ahead. And that'll settle in the Bulldogs zone. Icing's waved off. Bulldogs behind their goal, near side out off the wall. Quigley holds it, pass, just out of the reach of the Bulldogs. Eitel tied up, Bulldogs with possession behind the end line. Centering pass off a skate, Bulldogs shot over the net. Bulldogs center it, played out by Bultema. Loose puck in the Bulldogs zone, Mitchell chases after it. Pass chipped by Nichols but comes out. Bulldogs carry it back in, top of the zone. Cross ice pass, play it out, play it to the blue line, but dumped back in by the Bulldogs. Veliska after it, dumps it off the back wall for Eitel. Feeds it to Nichols, cross ice pass through the air. Mitchell couldn't bat it down. Caledonia gets some fresh skaters out there. Bulldogs, long range pass, and that's gonna get whistled for an icing. Osborne, Landon Moore, Ty Lewandowski, Evan Moore, and Zach Veliska. Face off, tied up, Bulldogs play it out. Evan from the point, sends it to the near wall. Bulldogs behind their own net, loose on the far side. Evan Moore from the point position. Puck battle there at the blue line. It comes out. Osborne pushes it in the zone with a skate. Now the Bulldogs get possession and bang it in deep. And we'll get a whistle. Looks like an icing whistle. Just outside the red line on the dump in. Sova, Esch, Mikkelsen, Quigley, and Eitel. Face off, tied up, and cleared by the Bulldogs. Icing's waved off. Quigley gives chase. Behind Hogue, Quigley uses the skate to tie it up, kicks it in the corner. Up the wall for Esch. Puck back to the point, shot goes high and wide, out to neutral zone. Bulldogs regroup, D-to-D. Now a pass knocked down, played into the middle. Quigley after the loose puck. Quigley on the far wall, high off the glass to neutral zone, just out of the reach of Sova. Bulldogs with possession. They go D-to-D. On the near side, now a pass up the wall, knocked down. Bulldogs carry it in. Pass over through and played by Mikkelsen. Bulldogs though take it away. Good play by Esch to take it away. Esch chipped into the zone. Bulldogs though get a stick on it. Now a pass knocked down by Esch, played up the far wall. Veliska's there, puts it off the wall, back for Sova and deep. Caledonia gets a full line change, pressuring Bultema. Far side, Bultema takes it away, gets it to, that's a shot in by Nichols off the post. Nichols gets it back. Mitchell battling behind the net. And we'll get our penalty here as looks like a holding call on the Bulldogs. Nichols gets taken down. So Caledonia goes on the power play. So the Caledonia power play unit out for the first time today. Penalty called on the Bulldogs. That's Brady Domzalski. Sova, Esch, Landon Moore, Mikkelsen, and Lewandowski. Face off, rattle around far side. Comes out to neutral zone. After the loose puck is Mikkelsen. Bulldogs there first. Puck played wide. Bulldogs with possession. Bulldogs try to carry it out to the middle. Shot goes wide. Loose on the far side. Now picked up by Esch. Harmon Esch through neutral zone. Oh, just off sides as Esch stick handled over the blue line. Lewandowski trying to find the back door position. So you're gonna change Esch, Nichols, Mitchell, Bultema, and Moore. Bultema from the blue line, a shot in on Schneider, and he'll hold that. Caledonia starting the third period with some pressure. Nichols on the face-off. Played by the Bulldogs out of the zone and deep. Hogue will play it. He'll settle it for Evan Moore behind the net. Evan carries it out far side. Dropped it for Nichols. Nichols from the red line, drives it in with speed. Nichols into the corner with it. Nichols behind the net, played by Mitchell. Gets it back out. Bulldogs push it into the wall. Nichols with it. Pass back to Moore at the point. Moore at the point, shot, saved by the goaltender, bounces out top of the zone, and Moore will have to regroup. Cross ice pass, delayed off sides. Moore holds it in the neutral zone, cross for Esch. Pass far side for Bultema. Bultema shot, knocked down into the wall. Bulldogs tied up there, Mitchell in to help. Now it comes out in the corner. Bulldogs turn and they'll send it length of the ice. Evan Moore gives chase, pressure in his pocket. Moore behind the goal. Cal gets a couple of fresh legs out there. Gorby's out. So is Sova. Moore's pass goes all the way for the icing whistle. 9 seconds left in the Cal power play. Lewandowski, Gorby, Quigley, Sova. And Itel. Bulldogs behind the net, play it into the corner. They're going to get their skater back right now. So Bulldogs back with 5. Loose puck. Lewandowski gives chase. Loose to Sova. Sova played it in towards net, played down by the defender. Lewandowski takes control, near side corner. Pass on the doorstep, played out to Itel at the point, a shot wide of net. Bouncing puck, Lewandowski uses the body, loose to Quigley at the point. Plays it back off the wall for Gorby. Bulldogs get it back and they'll flutter one to neutral zone. Itel gives chase. Takes it behind his own goal, pressure in his pocket, pass to Gorby at the wall. Gorby's pass to the middle, played by the Bulldogs, now ahead by Bultema. Bulldogs in their own zone, D to D, far side. Pass deflected by Mitchell, loose for Quigley. He'll retreat in his own zone, but he's ridden off the puck. Bulldogs have it, shot in on Hogue, and he's there for the save and whistle. Nichols, Velisca, Moore, Evan Moore. Evan Moore in the corner, plays it up the near side for Mitchell. Mitchell's pass to mid-ice, picked off by the Bulldogs. D to D to the near side, back up the wall, picked off by Nichols. But the Bulldogs bring it in. Bulldogs down low, a centering pass played by the defense, and Hogue got his leg on it. Dangerous. Traffic in front. The net also went off, so we'll get a whistle. And a D-zone draw. 8:26 left in the third. Bouncing puck, top of the zone. Bulldogs send it to the near wall. Now backhand into the corner. Veliska there. Osborne's going to have some room far side. Osborne's pass near side. That's going to go long and whistled for icing. Osborne on the face-off. Won by the Bulldogs. Point man plays it in the corner. Bulldogs there. Centering pass knocked on by Moore. Bouncing puck behind the net. Bulldogs get possession on the near side. Centering pass all the way through. Lewandowski's after it. Sends a pass over for Landon Moore from the red line. Dumped in on net. Bulldogs settle it behind their net. Now a pass on the breakout to the near side. Puck goes loose. Bouncing puck for Veliska. Esch takes possession. Harmon Esch curls, carries down Broadway. Esch's shot goes wide, gets his own rebound behind the net, centers it all the way through. Bulldogs now send it through mid-ice. Bouncing puck, held out nicely by Eitel. Bulldogs bang it in deep. Hogue settles it for Quigley. Quigley up the wall for Esch. Chipped by Sova for Mikkelsen. Mikkelsen pushes it to the near side, into the corner, moves it behind the net. Esch chases far corner. Bulldogs play it up the wall. Eitel holds it in. Bouncing puck gets to Esch. Esch from the corner, back to the wall with it. Esch now towards net. A shot deflected into the glass near side. That'll come out of the zone, but Rylan Bultema's there. Bultema turns and sends it in deep. Bounces off the back wall. Bulldogs play it behind the net. Bultema in the pocket. Bulldogs break out near side. Chipped into neutral zone. Evan Moore takes the puck. Leaves it at the wall. Bulldogs take possession. Bulldogs near side half wall. Shot in on Hogue and he'll hold for a whistle. Face-off played by the Bulldogs. Point man plays it in deep. They'd have it behind the net. Evan Moore pressures in to help his Nichols. Comes out to the wall. Mitchell there. Nichols there as well. Bulldogs push it up the wall. Loose to the top of the zone. Bultema chipped it to Nichols. Drew Nichols carries in. Tries to center it for Mitchell. That comes all the way through. Evan Moore at the point. Bangs it in back behind the net. Bulldogs snipe it. Send a pass up the near side wall. Moore in the neutral zone. He'll dump it in deep. Bulldogs from their own zone. Now pass near side. Knocked down by Moore at the red line. Now bouncing puck for Osborne. Gets it to Landon Moore. Landon on the doorstep. Shot. He scores! Ty Lewandowski buries it. Landon Moore with a beautiful pass cross ice on the tape for Lewandowski. And he gets goal number 2 of the game. Cal off the face-off, played it into the Bulldogs' direction. Lewandowski keeps it on the Bulldogs' side of the ice. Bulldogs regroup in their own zone. Pass connects. Brighton carries across the red line and dumps it in deep. Far side, Brighton there at the half wall. Now bang back behind the net. Quigley will be there. Settles it off the wall for Mitchell. Can't clear it. Quigley now gets a stick on it through the air. Bouncing puck into the Bulldog zone. Picked off by Mikkelsen at the blue line, and that's going to get whistled for offsides. Big goal by Caledonia here with 5:07 in the third as they extend their lead back to 2. Lewandowski, the senior, scoring 2 goals on the day. That is 8 and 9. He and Sova tied for the team lead in goals. Puck played out by the Bulldogs, pressured by Sova. Now the Bulldogs pass far side. Pass knocked down for Itel. He clears out of the Caledonia zone, but picked off by the Bulldogs. Brighton carries down low, a save by Hogue, rebound in front, bounces to the side of the net. Now Esch at the wall, point man gets a stick on it, but gets deflected by Sova. Esch picks up the loose puck. Harmon makes a nice move to the near side. Esch down low, a shot, and that's going to be held by Schneider for the whistle. Austin Osborne on the draw. Bulldogs take it behind their goal. Breakout on the far side. Pass through the air. That'll go long. And we'll get a whistle for icing. Nichols out on the draw, ties it up in the feet. Bulldogs dig it out. They'll clear the zone. Icing arm is up, and we'll get a whistle and bring it back down. Mitchell, Nichols, Boltema, Evan Moore, and Zach Valiska. Nichols plays it behind the net. Bulldogs near side. Pass connects. Now a pass goes long. That one's into Hogue, and he'll hold for the whistle and a face-off in the D zone. Caledonia shorthanded today without their team leaders. Gabe Supak, still out on injury. One of the team's leading scorers. One more game out for him, and he'll be back after the new year. D-zone draw. Top of the zone, Bulldogs at the half wall. Centering pass played by Itel. Loose in the feet, comes out for Esch. He gets it to Sova. Sova across the red line, tries to dump it in. Empty net on the Bulldog side, didn't notice. Bulldogs now pass, that's gonna go long, and we'll get a whistle for icing. So looks like, I'm guessing Schneider will return for the Bulldogs. But desperation time for Brighton, 3:34 left in the third. Cal with a 2-goal lead. Osborne, Landon Moore, Lewandowski, Quigley, and Itel. Face-off won by the Bulldogs. But taken away nicely by Osborne and dumped in deep. Schneider settles it behind his goal. D-man wraps it around the wall, comes loose for Osborne, plays it in the corner. Behind the net, Bulldogs, D to D, that rolls around to the near side wall. Bulldogs pass, picked off by Landon, but played by the Bulldogs forward. Out of the net comes Schneider. Puck loose, Lewandowski's got it, puts a long-range shot in. Oh, just wide of net. And we'll bring it back for a D-zone draw. Lewandowski looking for his Hattie. Five on six, empty net in the Brighton side. Face-off goes out of the zone. That puck traveling towards net. Brighton will get there. At the end line, Mikkelsen pressures. Brighton goes D to D, near side, on the breakout. Up through neutral. Bulldogs in the zone. Dropped it, shot wide. Deflected by Quigley to the corner. Pass out to the point. Back to the wall. Goes loose in the corner. Itel picks it up. Sends it long range. And we'll get an icing whistle as that. We had a line change. Veliska and Evan Moore come out on defense. Rylan Boltema, Bryce Mitchell, and Drew Nichols up top. 2:26 on the clock. Empty net on the Brighton side. Puck tied up in the feet. Big scrum. Now Caledonia pulls it away. Moore through the air. Oh, that did not leave ice play. I thought that was coming into the stands. Brighton. D-to-D pass. Back to the near side. Now a long range pass, and we'll get a whistle for icing as that went untouched. So Schneider goes back into net. Osborne, Landon Moore, Lewandowski up top, Veliska and Moore, Evan Moore on defense. Face off taken by Cal. Moore over for Osborne, a shot, save. Bulldogs wrap it around far side wall. Played into the corner. Cycled in the corner. Bulldogs pass into neutral zone. Landon Moore comes in to disrupt. Bulldogs push it ahead though. Veliska with a stick on it. Goes down towards Hogue and he gets a glove on it for the whistle. Just a tornado of action there and the puck thrown into Hogue. So Brighton with an empty net. 1:46 on the clock. Sova on the face-off. Won by the Bulldogs. Shot off a skate and into the netting behind Hogue. Face off into the corner. Moore puts it hard around the wall, far side. Bulldogs put it right back behind the net. Veliska's there. Plays it through the air into the corner. Bulldogs with possession at the half wall, now in the corner. Pressured by Sova, drives a man into the wall. Moore in to help, gets a stick on it, keeps it close to the wall. Moore into the feet, 1-on-3. Now it comes out behind the net. Veliska after it, far corner. Bulldogs now taken out by Sova, gets it to Esch, now down low. Moore with a skate on it. Sova at neutral zone. Played in deep. Played by the Bulldogs defense. Picked off by Veliska, he puts it in. Played by the Bulldogs defense. Less than a minute left in the game. Bulldogs carried out far side. Into the Caledonia. Nope, not in the zone. Chipped out by Mikkelsen. And the Bulldogs will have to regroup. Pass near side. Into the zone, loose in front. Hogue with a stick on it, but held, caught by the defender at the point position. Held up at the far wall. Comes loose, in the feet. Played in towards Hogue, a kick save into the wall. 30 seconds left. Bulldogs behind the net. Loose on the far side wall. Mikkelsen trying to tie it up. Moore in to help, takes a bang at it, and that bounces out. Bulldogs at the red line. Played in deep, Hogue jumps his stick, Moore with it. Sends it off the wall, near side. 10 seconds on the clock. Bouncing puck in the Caledonia zone. Esch clears. Oh, went off a player's stick in the box. And we'll get one more face-off before this one ends. Goals by Sova and Lewandowski here in the third. Seal the deal for Caledonia as they come into the East-West Showcase and take care of business. We won't call it until the buzzer rings here, but 3.5 seconds on the clock. The puck played out to the point man, shot in towards Hogue. He'll get one more save. And that does it. Caledonia wins 4-2. Great
Great game in net by Sam Hogue. 26 saves. So 4-2 victory, Caledonia wins. We'll be back on the ice Monday, a home game against the Grand Rapids Catholic Central Cougars. Next on the ice, the Byron Center Bulldogs against Detroit Catholic Central Cougars. We wish them, the Byron Center Bulldogs, good luck in that game, representing the west side of the state. Later on tonight, the host team, the Howell Highlanders, take on the Forest Hill Central Rangers. Good luck to the Rangers in that one, and thanks to Howell for hosting this fun event. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you on Monday. One more game before the holiday break. Caledonia with the win here on the Pass Shoot Score Network, 4-2.